Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I will be doing my March TBR. So yeah, basically what I am always doing is picking out. I think I am going to stick with 6 just because I kind of like sometimes to also read around a little if I want to kind of, what am I going to call it, like do maybe a secret TBR or like read different things. I haven't been able to do that for the last 2 months. So yeah, let's just see if this is month where I will be doing that or not. So basically what I have started to kind of always do is I tried it in February and that worked very well. So I usually pick out the pieces that I am supposed to, and then basically you will see kind of me skipping a few days before I choose my, let's call it, final TBR. I usually end up reading the books that I have set because then I get a few days to feel what I want to read. And that has worked very well, so I think I will continue on doing that. So today we will pick out 6. If not, we get a devil again. I think we have at least 3 more in here. I think it's only 3, but I don't know. So let's just pick out 6 and see. So set in a fictional town or world. So urban fantasy, anything. So this one works pretty well. I maybe have something that I want to choose, but I don't know yet. I will have to think about what I'm going to choose for that for a few days. Oh, it's a rainbow. LGBTQIA+. Yes, that works really well. I like trying to read diversely. Now we have 2 green. So let's pick out the third one. Forced proximity romance. Okay, so basically what this means is that it is a forced setting, for example, you are forced to kind of be in the same hotel room, for example. So that should not be a problem. I am always in a romance mood. So I will try and find one that I want to read. That was 3, so we have 3 more. This one says random. Okay, so as always for random, I have this one. I have finally changed it up. And it's a lot. So, I don't even need to hold this one out of kind of my head because I don't even know what I have in here anymore. Should we go to the bottom or not? Let's just go down all the way and pick one. From the bottom. Okay, so this one is from War to Marry. And it is Mr. Master by T.L. Swan. So this is a romance. I don't know much about it, but I have been wanting to read that book. It has kind of been on my TBR for a long time, so it fits well that we got that one. So we have 4. Pick another one. Okay, this is a contemporary. Okay, so that is definitely very vague, and yeah, that can be like any book, like any genre set in a contemporary setting. So whatever I kind of feel like reading. Okay, so that is last one. So let's pick this one. It's a blue one. A place in the title. Okay, that should be interesting. So that was 6. So I'm going to come back. That wasn't so bad. We only got 6 this month, which is good. So I'm going to come back when I have decided what I'm going to read for these 6 prompts. And yeah, then we'll talk again. So I'm back with the rest of my TBR. I almost said. Basically, I am going through, yeah, my pieces, and then I'm just going to mention what I will be reading for kind of the challenges that I have every single month. So let's just get into it. So I am going to talk about them, and then I'm going to talk about the piece if a piece fits for it. Okay, so I have a few things that I want to read every single month. So I have decided that one thing is working through the Rory Gilmore challenge, like reading list. I have read a few of them, but if you want to see what is on there, I will link like one of the lists kind of down below if I can remember it. So yeah, I will get my screen recording going, and basically I will choose my Rory Gilmore list. So I have just made everything on a wheel just because I cannot make a, cannot choose anything for anything. So I will just spin this. I don't know how it will go because there are a lot, as you can see, but I will just spin it and see what I get. Okay, the Crimson Petal and the White. So I have no idea what this book is about. I don't know how long it is or anything. So isn't that great? But yeah, that was the Rory Gilmore challenge list. And then we have the Elise Kova book. And I will read the next in the Air Awakens series. I don't remember the name, but yeah, it's the next one there. I was a little hesitant, like maybe I should choose something else, but then I was like, why start every single Elise Kova book, like every single series of hers, and then go back and read? So why don't I just finish the Air Awakens series and then continue on with something else? So yeah, and then we have the All Around the World challenge, and then I have decided that a place in the title will fit very well with Anne of Green Gables, because Green Gables, even though it's not, I don't think it's a like real place, but it is a place in the book, because if I remember correctly, Green Gables is this I think it's the, I almost said farm that she goes on. So I think, yeah. So Green Gables is definitely a place in Anne of Green Gables. And I want to read all the Anne of Green Gables books because I want to watch Anne with an E. And I do know that there was a Anne of Green Gables series like a long time ago. So that is what I have chosen for All Around the World. And then we have published within a year. And that fits very well with this one. And that is contemporary. And I have decided to go with Enjoy the View. This one came out in January, I think. So it's well within a year. So yeah, and I have been reading the 2 other books, so I just felt like, why don't I continue on and like actually catch up on this series so I am not behind. And then we have a backlist book. And that fits very well with set in a fictional town or world, because I will be reading Ruin and Rising, which is the 3rd book in the Grishaverse. I'm trying to read most of the Grisha books before Shadow and Bone comes out in April, which is so close. And I mean, I might have to fit in like Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom before April. I think I might start it in May, so I do have April on me. Maybe I will watch it just as it comes out. I don't know yet. So yeah. And then we have a big book, which I always have. And I have chosen Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I started this a while ago and didn't finish it. So I should finish it. I need to start over because I don't remember, but it is like just over 500 pages. So it's not like the most pages I have read, but definitely fits the big book. And then we have a romance book, and I have decided to go with On the Rocks by Candy Steiner. And I have been wanting to read this book for such a long time, and Peace Love Books, she has been raving about this, and I just really do want to get to it. And then we have an adult book, and I have decided why. I have read Outlander, I have read Dragonfly and Amber, or are almost done with it, and I was just like, why don't I just continue on that track and read Voyager, which is the 3rd book. I've never read this book before, and I mean, I do kind of know what is going to happen because YouTube spoiled me for everything that happens in the TV show. It was like, here you have Outlander content, and I was just like, thank you. So I do know what happens, but I have never read the book, so I really do want to get to it. And then we have Author of Color. I have decided to go with the Kiss Quotient, and this is the I think the author is it Asian? I think she is. So it really fits well with the Author of Color. So she's not white, and I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. Then we have self-published, and that one fits very well with the random card that I got, because that was Mr. Masters. And Mr. Masters, as I can see, at least from GoodReads, is a self-published or indie published book. So that should count. And then we have a non-fiction. I have not decided on my non-fiction yet. So for the non-fiction prompt, I will pop up my screen because I do have a non-fiction here, so I don't have too many on here just yet. I will write down more eventually and just have a lot, but so far I think I have half like anti-racist and black, and then I have half other stuff. So I will just see what we will be reading for my non-fiction prompt. Why I'm no longer talking to white people about race. So I have been planning on reading some anti-racism books and things like that, and I have never gotten around to it because, yeah, I don't have anything to actually say about that because I should have read it, and then nonfiction is just not something I read a lot of, and that is the reason I want to read at least one nonfiction every single month for the rest of the year. Okay, so the next one is a graphic novel. I have decided to go with Giant Days. So this is on my 21 graphic novels to read in 2021, so I should get to that list, but I mean, I can read all of those in like a week, so, you know. But yeah, the next one is a reread, and this one fits very well with my forced proximity romance, and that is The Unhoneymooners, because this is kind of a forced proximity because they need to go on a honeymoon together, so it's really cool and definitely fits that prompt. The next one is a romance opening book. That one fits very well for my LGBTQIA plus book, which is Wolf Song. This is a book I have been wanting to read forever. And this is male, and it's a shifter romance, so I have heard a lot of good things about this. And then we have a 5-star prediction, so I always take this from my 5-star prediction video. And for this month, I have decided to go with Fortuna Sworn. I have heard Becca from Becca and the Books and A Frolic Through Fiction, and a lot of people have been raving about this book. I know it's about Fae and something called a nightmare, and it is a fantasy romance, which is definitely growing to be one of my favorite genres because I love fantasy and I love romance. So definitely, yeah. And then we have my spoiler log. And to be honest, I have no idea what I'm going to choose for this. I might go with the next Stephen King book, which is The Shining, but then the other one is also, I think it's very long, and I don't know if I feel like doing that. I might do another book. I mean, I can take the next in Throne of Glass or the next in City of Bones, but then I need to buy a new book, and I'm trying to save some money because I have just used a lot of money on my car. So I don't know what I'm going to choose. I have to see, and you will see. I hope to get my spoiler vlogs out that the month that I am filming them, or before my wrap up. That hasn't happened, but we will still continue on trying. And then we have a NetGalley arc. So I do have some that I definitely that are like due before the month, I almost said, and not the month, but so we are in March, so we have like 3 in April. One of these I have read, so I have 2. So I have such a struggle. It's rather Pastel Pink or Tales of the Lost Horizon. So it's, yeah, it's one of those which yeah, I mean, Pastel Pink, the archive date is April 19th, so maybe I should pick that one. And then I also have like 2 or 3 poetry collections that I have on my NetGalley that I should get read before the archive date. I think that one is in April too. But I think I'm going to say pastel pink for this, because poetry books doesn't take me too long. I can read them in a day. Yeah, and then just get things going from there. So that is my TBR. Not all of them I have to read. I have to read these ones. So yeah, and I will get with my readathon TBR later on this month. But yeah, I hope you like this enough, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye!